effortless alpha.
Move just a little bit so I know that you're still there. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You were just completely, you were so zen there in the moment.
It really mess it up by doing something with this. And another.
Aaron. All right, so we're going to start off with smiles. I love this. My name is Kevin Bruce Scott, and I'm with effortlessalpha.com. And today I've got Aaron Huey with Fire Mountain Programs out of Estes Park, Colorado, and apparently it's nice and warm there while it's freezing cold in Toronto. And I brought Aaron here today because the very first time that I ever met you, it was at one of your events, and you were talking about the relationship between men and women, and you used the term giving dick. And I will never forget that till the day I die. And I didn't understand it fully until I started doing it. And I would love if you would share your philosophy on that here today.
You know, we were talking before you hit record, Kevin, and we were talking a lot of things about toxic masculinity and the interpretation of masculine behavior, and the fear that men are feeling around, am I allowed to freely express? Am I allowed to say what I'm thinking, feeling, experiencing, and not knowing which part of the feminine wants what, and sometimes the feminine wants one energy from you, and another time that energy can trigger them into a very unsafe space, and how to navigate that. And the main thing that has come up for me in doing sacred sexual work and being married, and watching a lot of men really work hard to try to navigate the changes as we're switching the balance of power from the masculine to feminine, is the fear that the masculine is not needed anymore. And when I say needed, I'm talking about the true form of need, not want. So let's just talk about need for a second. What human beings need to survive is shelter, warmth, and water, and food. What human beings need to thrive is safety, power, the five human needs: safety, power, connection, freedom, and growth. And when those needs aren't met, we can suffer emotionally, we can suffer mentally, we can suffer spiritually. But I want to dive even deeper for the masculine for a second and suggest that there is an experience that masculine men in general, males are having right now, that the feminine doesn't need us. They don't need us to have children. Our sperm's in a bank. They don't need us to raise kids, because quite frankly, many of us were raised without fathers, and were raised by our mothers. We're not needed for protection. Women serve in the military. We're not needed for worship. Women can attend church and have a relationship with deity. It used to be that as late as the 60s, men were needed so that a woman could open a bank account. Men were needed so women could own property. Men were needed so women could have, men, you needed us to vote. They don't need you to vote for them. They don't need you to serve in the military for them. They don't need you to hunt for them, because they can stock the aisles of Safeway just as good as anybody else. They don't need you to own property for them. They don't need you to open a bank account. They don't need you for children. So what do they need you for? And I think at a deep psychic level, men are saying, I'm not needed. And what I have seen is that increases the desire to, and these were the words that we're using, get some, get laid. Have a woman put out for you. And chasing tail, that was the one that we were talking about, the idea of chasing tail. That's trying to get from women. All of those terms are trying to get things from women. And I remember as a child, I definitely needed my mom for things. I needed to get things from her. Acceptance, unconditional love, connection, safety, power, freedom. Those all things I got from my mom. And as I got older, that transition that I needed to get those from other women, to feel important, to feel empowered, to feel sexy, to feel all these things. But if women don't need us, where are we going to get? What are we going to get from a person who does? What really can you get from a species that doesn't need you? They may want you, and that can fulfill some of the getting. But what I propose to men, to masculine energy people, is perhaps, since the masculine energy is built to give life force energy, that should be the foundations of our sexuality, is giving and not receiving. The feminine body, the female body, is built for receiving energy. Masculine body is built for giving energy. So at a very base translation, that could mean giving some instead of trying to get some. How do you give laid? How do you give? Give to your partner. Give. Give. Don't get. You receive in giving. Isn't that the thing about Christmas? It's like it feels so good to give someone a gift.
Yeah, it's way better to give than to receive at Christmas.
That's what we're supposed to think. Like, I love getting gifts. I'm a big, it's a big one of my love languages. I love getting a gift. I love it so much. I buy a bunch of shit on Amazon all the time. I love getting things in the mail. But what is it that I'm actually trying to get from my wife? What is it I'm actually trying to receive from my wife? What is it that I'm actually trying to get from the being that is designed to get and to gestate that getting and to create something with that getting? And what would our relationship be like if I was to stand in the space of consistent giving? And then what would my relationship with my work be like? And what would my relationship with the world be like? And what would my relationship with women in the community be like? If we take it out of the base context of sexuality, or even the spiritual context of sexuality, and just say, hey, dude, you're not here to get. You're here to give. And your reward comes from that experience. I know you want, but what if you can receive by giving? What if that old adage is really, really true? Then that leaves us to have to reframe a lot of things in our life. We give, and we give, and we keep giving, and we keep giving. If you want touch, go give touch. If you isn't that one of the things we're talking about, money and finances, right? Charity is one of the most powerful spiritual experiences of the energy of money, is giving to charity and lending to the abundance of the universe. That creates flow back in. So
now,
go ahead.
Some men will take this as, I'm giving in order to get.
Sure.
But that's not what this is.
It can't be, because then it's not giving. If I give you a gift with the expectation that I get one in return, that's not giving. That's called a trade. And if we're gonna trade, then there needs to be an agreement about that. But
that doesn't make sex very much fun. Having to come to an agreement beforehand every time.
So here's the contract I've put together for us. This is a tough one, because I think the whole concept of giving begins to beg the question: what if she doesn't want to receive? What if the world isn't receiving me? What if I'm not received? What if this gift I have to offer isn't being picked up upon? Well, then I think we have to check in with our concept of giving. I think we really have to figure out how we're giving to the world. And really, and I think you brought it up, Kevin, is that we track the giving forward. Are you doing it? Karma doesn't work if you're doing a good thing so that good things happen. That's not karma. You do good things because it's the right thing to do, the end. That's it. Stop there. Don't go any farther. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And so you give for the sake of giving. Don't think it's a mistake that women say that one of the biggest turn-ons that they have is a man who cleans the house, does the laundry, does the dishes, that chores are the biggest aphrodisiac. So following the idea that this is about money, or energy, and money is energy, and sex is energy, and a massage is energy, isn't that why women like the bad boys? Is because of how much energy they have. Why they're not attracted to the nice guys. I remember in high school, the guys slouching down the hallway, and they got the pack of cigarettes in their pocket, carrying their skateboard, and they look at a girl and they've got that smoldering, smoky look, and they're like, and it's just energy, man. And they break a window. I don't even care. They just do shitty things, and it translates into shitty things towards women too. But if you put, what's the difference between walking down the hall and walking down the hall with a smile on your face, or walking down the hall with a pair of drumsticks in your pocket, or a guitar in your hand, or walking down the hall with a skateboard, or what? Well, those other things, the skateboard, the drumsticks, the guitar, those are energy things. Those are things that have to do with energy. I have energy. I have more energy than the guy who's just walking down the hall. And that's attractive to the feminine because their design is to receive energy. And so if your giving isn't being received, you have to check the energy. You have to check the intention behind it, because what do we've got? We've got intention, delivery, and perception. Right? We have an intention. I really want to get laid. I'm gonna get laid. Well, that's your internal process. And so the delivery is going to have that behind it. The body language will betray you. Somewhere in there, you're going to admit somehow to the person you are trying to communicate to, even if you're trying to do it in code, that you just want to get laid. You want to get something from them. So the energy has to shift to giving something to them. Yeah, I think it's more than holding a door open. I think it's more than, stepping aside when the hallway's only big enough for one. That seems gentlemanly, but gentlemen have energy. Cary Grant had energy. So I think the study of increasing the sexuality at home in a marriage with a longtime girlfriend becomes a study of energy and intention, and not what's a better pickup line. But I will say that those pickup artists, if you read their information, if you read The Game by Neil Strauss and The Truth by Neil Strauss, and then The Rules of the Game by Neil Strauss, which is all about the pickup artist society, every trick, every detail, every conversation, everything was about the energy of a person. The rules, when you walk into the club, walk in with a smile on your face. Why? Because it shows that you were just laughing. And if you were laughing, you got energy, and people want to be with someone who is laughing and who has energy. Pull out a deck of tarot cards or some runes, or read their palm and keep it focused on them. Why? Because it's energy. And wear big fuzzy purple hats and very outlandish outfits, and it's called peacocking. Why? Because it's energy. This is a game of energy.
And to maintain energy, men need to have and supply themselves with testosterone.
Yes.
A higher level of testosterone helps with energy level. And yet there is numerous studies around saying right now that the general level of testosterone in males is dramatically down. 20, 30 years ago, it was far higher than it is now.
I'm on testosterone injections. I take them. I take them weekly. I've tried I take the testosterone injections. I've tried human growth hormone, but I destroyed my testosterone production with drugs.
Ah.
My drug addiction killed my testosterone production.
Mhm.
So I had dangerously low numbers. So yeah, I get that one. I get what happens to energy, and I get what video games and Facebook and binge watching TV does to energy, and I get what shitty food does to energy, and I get what not exercising does to energy, and I get what drug use and alcohol use and keep going. My God, at the end of the day, you're back to the basic. Eat well and exercise, you fucking energyless piece of shit who's running around trying to get things from other people. You're not going to have the energy to go give if you don't take care of yourself.
Nice. And you almost mentioned one thing I wanted to make sure we hit on today. One, like the energy that goes out in this form of, I will say communication. I don't know if it's communication, but pornography. This is an addiction for so many men. It's a problem. Men don't even realize why it's a problem. Can you talk about the energy that goes away in that?
So I believe, and will continue to believe, and having worked with, having worked with a lot of people who struggle with pornography. Pornography is the place a man retreats to when he wants to completely control the sexualized experience. Pornography is an aspect of control. You get to decide the nationality of the woman, the body shape and size of the woman, the experience that the man is having. You get to control the length. You get to control the time. You get to control the. You get to indulge. There needs to be no discomfort of connection and no discomfort of like, oops, that happened too fast, or let's back off for a second because I want to start. There's none of the real. So the addictive nature and being a person who runs a mental health and addiction treatment center. If it changes brain chemistry, if it's easy, if it's a compensatory action for hurt feelings, trauma, or uncomfortable experiences, then it's a pathway to addiction. If it's easier than dating, then you're on the path to addiction, and we all know it is. We all know it is. It requires nothing from you except some Kleenex. That's it. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry designed for you to whack off and not have connection. And it reinforces the habituated pattern of a certain level of friction, and a certainly does not help. And pornography is not sex. These are actors and actresses. It's not real. It's as real as reality TV. It's not real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for me, I always saw it as just a way to get off. And that ties right into the getting laid or the chasing tail. When I think of that, it's going after the orgasm.
Yeah.
And this whole thing about giving dick, when I did that for the first time, it was the most incredible sex I had ever had in my whole entire life. Mm-hmm. And I lasted a lot longer. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going after that one moment or that one few moments where normally it was, like you said, it was kind of a trade. I do this for you, then I get to have this. And that's all it was for years, until I heard this giving, and I went, all right, well, I'll listen to this guy. I'll do it. I'll do it his way. And it was just, I felt so much more powerful in who I was. I felt like I maintained my energy while giving it. It wasn't explode, done, fall asleep, I'm out.
Right.
It was
not only explode.
Oh my God.
Right. Not only just explode, done, I'm out, but tension explosion done, not relaxation and opening. When we're talking about giving during a sexualized experience, we're talking about an opening, not a close. You cannot give and close the doors to the store. You cannot give free samples to customers and lock the doors out. And when we're in the physical experience, pre-orgasm, the men have a tendency to tighten up, and then release. What if instead of tightening up, it's a relaxing forward and a relaxing forward and a relaxing forward, and the whole thing becomes not just a release of semen, but an actual release of energy beginning way back. What we begin to find is that you don't have to orgasm. And your orgasm then begins to take a different shape, that you actually orgasm without ejaculating. And you actually begin to expand and express and open and enjoy internal orgasms, and having a much deeper connective experience, and can actually enjoy sex without having to have an orgasm, or then begin to experience multiple orgasms, because there's energy moving. If everything begins to pool and stagnate and then goes, then it's over, it's done. But what if rather than going this, it's going this way and this way and this way and this way and this way, and it just keeps opening? What if our muscles are relaxing during? What if? That's the what if, that's the energy. This is the exercise or at home, the exercise at work, the exercise during, alone pleasure time is to relax. Don't clench, don't tighten, not your legs, not your back, not your belly, nothing. Just continue to relax and open and open and open and expand. See what happens. See what happens through relaxing with it. See what happens through relaxing around doing chores in your house for your spouse. See what happens when you relax while you're giving her a massage without expecting anything on the flip side. I mean, really expecting nothing. I mean, even letting go of the hope that she's going to relax into enough space that she changes. And that's that change piece. That's the thing that we also have to talk about, is that how she changes one night is not necessarily how she's going to change the next night. What she enjoyed one night is not how she's going to enjoy the next night. And that's not what we learn from pornography. And that's not what we understand from men. We think if this works, then we lock that away and say, do that every time. And you cannot be closed and experience what your partner is going to desire from you. You have to expand. You have to relax. No good decisions are made through tension. Like, there's nothing that comes from that. They're made through relaxation. So,
and that for me is, honestly, it's the fun of a relationship. Finding out what's going to work today, finding out what's going to work tomorrow, because it's not the same thing every day. I love that.
I hate it.
It's so much more, it's so much more interesting for me, because I don't like the same thing all the time, personally.
It drives me crazy. I am a daytime-aholic with 5 calendars, and for me, and it's 5 o'clock, I am up, I am at the gym, and I can't do it tomorrow because I got to get up and take the car into the thing, and I feel tension coming up and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of work for me to try to not create a process out of connection. That connection can happen through relaxation. And for me, process and consistency has been something that, having such a chaotic former life, process and control and connection, process and control has led to my ability to relax so that I can connect. So it has been double duty for me to say, I don't know what's going on. Hey, relax in this. And that's the event that you and I first met at. That was that whole experience. It's like, no matter what's thrown at you, can you keep expanding? Can you let it expand you? Can you grow from it? Or is it going to shut you down and make you quit? Women are hard. Walking on eggshells right now. There are things that, with the Me Too movement and everything, I hear a lot of men saying, I don't know what I can say anymore. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, and I feel like if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to get sued or fired. And my first response was, well, Imagine how she feels. She feels like if she wears the wrong thing, she's going to get raped. So maybe you should watch your fucking mouth. You know, maybe you shouldn't be talking like an asshole. Maybe you saying shitty things to her is not a turn on for her. The hard part about that, which whether it's hard or not is irrelevant, men got to figure this out. The hard part about that is sometimes saying dark things, shadowy things, gets her going. Because it's energy. So how do you know when? How do you know what? Well, people who use the same bait on every single fish do catch fish. But that's not really a human thing. That's a fishing thing.
We're not trying to catch fish here.
No, women aren't creatures of process. Women are creatures of experience. Women are creatures of energy. Women are creatures of life force. Men are creatures of process. I think the biggest thing, Kevin, that all this comes down to is we still want women to think like us. And that's not giving. That's expecting. That's receiving. That's saying is, if you just did it my way, this would be a hell of a lot easier. I'm horny. Let's get this done. I need an explosion. And what she needs might be 3 days of buildup. Or she's ready to go now in this moment. She was yesterday, but she's not now. I don't understand. Oh, wait, now she is, but I said the wrong thing, so now it's gone. Wait a second, but I'm still on my trajectory. I'm still looking for the solution. If the result, if the orgasm is not just a physical giving of life force energy, but actually an emotional, a mental, and a spiritual giving of life force energy, then doesn't that mean you're always having sex? I think so.
Whoa. I didn't realize I was having sex right now. That's incredible.
Right now, Kevin, you are great in bed. Like
that's one of my affirmations, actually. Just saying.
Is it? Hey, I'm with you on that one.
But you were saying that when we have the expectations as men that if this worked yesterday, it needs to work now. I think a lot of the work that men need to be doing now is dealing with not understanding and it being okay that it doesn't work today. It doesn't work right now because I said, even though I'm still horny, I said the wrong thing. And I'm not going to get it right now. I need to deal with that. I do. Not take it out on her, not take it out on somebody else. I need to deal with that. Because I'll be honest, the faster I'm able to deal with that, the faster I can get back on track with her and give more.
I think men feel oppressed by the amount of emotional and mental work relationships take. I think the paradigm is men are easy and women are difficult. And when the feminine is going through the ocean of, on top it's a tidal wave and below it's calm, teeming with life, and men don't know whether to sink or swim or surf or dive or run for cover on higher ground. And we complain about how difficult it is to navigate. And it's a joke between me and my guy friends where we say, hey man, how's it going? Are you still married? And they're like, barely. And the joke is the thing we keep between us, because what we do with that energy is we vent that with each other. We experience and express that with each other. But what we express to our wives is giving. What we focus on there is giving understanding, giving space, giving connection, giving compliments, giving relaxation through doing chores, and not helping her with her chores. I fucking hate that. I hate that concept. I hate that statement. I see it on Facebook all the time. Should a man help with chores? I say absolutely not. I say absolutely not. He should not help with chores, because if he is using the word helping helping, then the insinuation is that the chores are still belong to her, and you deserve a fucking cookie because you're helping her. I am 100%. The laundry is mine, the dishes are mine, the vacuuming is mine, and the primary house cleaning is mine. That is what I do. And I don't do it. I do it because I'm better at it than she is, but I do it because cleaning this house relaxes me. It is how I come back online. It is how I center myself. It is how I regulate myself. And I don't want her to do it. I don't want her to hang her laundry. I'll hang her laundry. She's got her things that she does. She makes sure that we have all our supplements. She's the one who does the cooking. But when she is done having a fist fight with that kitchen, I'm the one who puts it back together. And that's how it goes. So it's not helping with the chores. Do your damn job. Well, I work hard. Well, so does she. We're all in this, right? We're all doing this stuff. So that's the giving piece. And I think if we really come down to it, if the focus truly goes on giving without receiving, what do we end up with? What if the answer to not feeling needed is, because she doesn't need us for babies or for raising them or for education or for being in politics. She doesn't need us. She doesn't need us. And quite frankly, she's pretty justified in feeling that way. I don't know many women who run companies that rape the rainforest or use children to find diamonds in the sand. Those are companies run by men. I think Monsanto and other corporations that do really kind of horrendous shit, they're run by men, right? So I think they're pretty justified in saying, I don't really need you for this. And while I think men are experiencing that at a level of saying, what am I needed for? I think that's a great question for us to be asking men in our men's groups. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you needed for? If the ship is sinking and there's 5 women on the raft and 1 man and it's you, and there's only space for 5, why the fuck should you stay on the raft? Justify it right now. Go. Tell me why you belong on the raft. What are you going to give this world? Because all these women can give the world children. They can give the world, we can go through it. They can do everything we can do and have children. So to all the men, what is it that you can do? What can you give this world? And if you don't know, well, now you know what your work is. You got to find out. But what my wife is most attracted to, awesome biceps. No, I'm kidding.
Same thing with Melanie.
What I think my wife is most attracted to is my purpose, because my passion and my purpose, my passion is equal to my purpose. I know why I'm on this earth. I know what I die for. I know what my mission is. I know I have a very clear vision, and I live it every single day. And when a man doesn't have passion, it's because he doesn't have a purpose. And so men, if you don't have passion or you don't have purpose, now you have a purpose, and that's to find your passion and to find your purpose and to figure out the fuck are you doing in this world? What are you giving? What are you giving? And when that's the space we get when we have a world full of women who really, quite frankly, don't need us anymore, we have the space to figure out what we're actually needed for. What are we at? What a phenomenal opportunity we have as men is to achieve a higher state of giving.
And you say, and this is all about energy, a man who knows his purpose, a man who has passion around his purpose, you can see them on the street, you can see them on social media, you can see them when you talk to them, when you hear about them. It is so obvious how much just internal power and confidence. I mean, men so much want power and confidence. And that comes from having purpose, knowing purpose, continued growth, and delayed gratification. I think a lot of this goes down to delayed gratification. We're going after that instant gratification in so many, with the pornography, with the video games, with the television, with the reality TV and the pornography, with all that, it's all instant gratification. Mm-hmm. But when we have discipline to get away from instant gratification and say, I'm looking for something bigger and better in the future.
Do you remember in Casablanca at the end, she was saying, please don't go, please don't go. He was like, but I must. She's like, yeah. And that made her love him and want him so much more, is because his discipline, that the thing that he had to do was more important than that relationship. And that's so very attractive, that there's something that's so big for men to do. And you'll find it, you'll figure it out, but it's so important that it starts to guide your life. It starts to form your day, that life is no longer creating you, you're creating life. And because that takes so much energy, because you have to have so much energy, because you start to put things into perspective. Do I want to eat this bag of Doritos and then go get fast food later because it's cheap and easy and I don't want to miss that TV show and I'm doing online gaming, and why don't I have a girlfriend? Into, man, I have so much to do. Do I really have time to play that video game? Do I really have the energy to go get fast food because it's going to kill me later? And it starts to inform us on what we will do here. What will you do here? You want to be attractive. You want to be able to put energy out there. It's not that the tricks might get you laid. And there we are, right back at the beginning of this conversation. Those little pickup tricks, they might get you laid, but you will not find your heart's desire through them. Those pickup lines, that's not where heart's desire lives. And when you read these books by Neil Strauss, he's very, very clear that energy, that energy of getting some, and chasing tail and trying to trick them or convince them into giving something to you, giving a part of their body away to you, that it destroys men. It drains you of your life force energy. And the next thing you know, you're just living in a sickness. It's not sustainable. We'd like to think it is, because we were told in porn movies that was awesome, that it meant something, that all these women were. That ain't it. And if you're in a men's group, you know that. If you're listening to Kevin, if you're part of Kevin's alpha team, you know this. You know this, and you just have to be disciplined about it. And if you can't be, then there's probably an addiction issue. If discipline and willpower and motivation don't work, then you got a fucking problem. So deal with your problem. And not through her, with the therapist. And she's not your therapist.
She's not your therapist.
And not even a men's group. Your men's group are not your therapist, but it's a good start, man. And if you're feeling comfortable talking about your feelings and getting advice in a men's group, great. But therapy is a completely different process. Men's group are great state changes, and after a while they can lead to a trait change. Therapy focuses on trait change. But this at the end of the day, I think men need to go through a big reframe. Stop calling your penis junk. Stop grabbing your junk. It's not junk, man. It's a tool of life force energy. It's your hardware. It's your penis. Penises are awesome. I love my penis. But the reframe, what about us loving our bodies? What about us loving our energies? What about us looking in the mirror and saying, damn, you look good. Damn, you're taking care of yourself. Damn, this is energy, man. They'll find you. It's moths to a flame. If you are an energetic male, you will attract. But that can't be the reason you have energy. You have energy so that you can give. And you give without trying to attract. That's attractive. You give so that you attract, that ain't attractive. So focus on your mission, vision, focus on your passion, focus on your purpose. That is giving to the world.
I'm gonna end it right there. Even though I've got a million other things, I'm like, it's just popping up. I want to ask, but that you dovetailed it perfectly there. Aaron Huey, Fire Mountain Programs. How do people work with you? How do they find you?
Well, primarily, my work deals with teenagers and families who are struggling with their teenagers. So if you are a parent and your teenager is struggling, 12 to 17 years old, you can go to my website, firemountainprograms.com. You can always find me on Facebook, and every now and then I step out of the role of being the parent coach or the teen treatment center owner, and I'll put up a Facebook video or something like that. But my vision, my passion, my purpose is to support families who are struggling with their kids, and that's a big majority. That's 90% of my work. 10% of my work is I get hired to go speak at other people's events and scream at people and do horrendous, awful things, which I won't discuss here.
That's how I know you.
And that's how you know me. But I am not advertising that work. The people who know me will have these conversations. My mission here on planet Earth is to protect innocence. And when children have mental health or drug addiction or self-harm issues, and that innocence has been decimated, destroyed, and the whole family is suffering, that's when people call me. And I'm always on Facebook, Aaron Huey. I've got a bunch of YouTube videos at Fire Mountain RTC, and then Fire Mountain Programs is our website.
And you've got a podcast.
Dude, thank you for saying that. I have a podcast called Beyond Risk and Back. You can go to beyondriskandback.com and check out my interviews with teens and experts in child development, and with parents who are going through struggles. And it's a place, as a parent, if you're having struggles, it's a place to go and realize you're not alone.
Nice. Great podcast. And everybody can get value out of that. Everybody.
Thank you.
Even if you don't have kids. And I'm Kevin Bruce Scott with effortlessalpha.com. Funny you say that we're supposed to expand. This is all part of the masculine expansion. Thank you so much.